Welcome back to my Gold Medal Series guide for Red Dead Redemption 2. We finally reached Chapter 4, and since the last dramatic mission saw little Jack get kidnapped, we're now on a mission to find him. This one's called The Joys of Civilization, and the main objectives are as follows. Catch the street urchin before he reaches the market, and complete within 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This mission kicks off with Arthur trying to walk into the Bastille Saloon in Saint Denis, but of course Dutch can't resist being dramatic. He jumps out and says, "Stick 'em up, cowboy," like this is all just a fun little field trip and not a mission to find a kidnapped child. After that bit of theatre, Arthur heads inside to ask the bartender about Angelo Bronte, but surprise, surprise, the guy's not exactly forthcoming. Luckily, a drunk and very chatty man nearby decides he's the real MVP and starts spilling the beans. As soon as he opens his mouth, you can actually start heading for the door and turn right round the corner to find the alleyway that he's about to point you to anyway. Might as well walk and listen. Gotta keep things moving if you want the gold. Next we need to locate the kids that the drunk guy mentioned. They're in the alleyway behind the saloon, so head straight for the yellow marked area on your map. There's no need to stop and talk to anyone, just ignore the distractions. At the end of the alley, run straight across the courtyard, then left down the stairs. Follow the path left and up to the steps to reach the kids and trigger the next cutscene. Feel free to skip it, cutscenes don't affect your gold medal objectives, so it's safe to move things along. It turns out the kid's a bit of a hustler and Arthur has to pay him $5 for a tour. Typical Saint Denis. I'll be cutting most of this section since you probably know what's coming. Eventually one of the older kids snatches Arthur's bag with all your money and takes off. Now we've got to catch that little urchin before he reaches the market, and let's be honest, that's probably why you're watching this video. It's a tricky chase, I'm not going to lie, but I've got 2 methods to show you that should help you secure the gold. I'll start by showing the harder place to catch him first, then we'll look at an alternative route that's a bit easier. So this first method is quicker, but it's definitely a tough one to pull off and takes a bit of patience. It starts with the usual chase route. If you miss the chance to catch him though in either of these methods, you can abandon the mission by holding the left D-pad down. You unfortunately cannot restart the checkpoint though because it messes with the timer for the whole mission. As you can see, my horse was further up the street, so be sure to jump on your own horse instead of the one you saw earlier. Follow the tram until you see the boy jump off and into the alleyway on the right. Immediately jump down and run after him. It's just around the corner, we're going to attempt to get him. As soon as you reach the alley, take a left near the stairs and head through the archway. There may be NPCs in the way, just weave around them as quickly as you can. I'm going to freeze frame here so you can see exactly where to attempt the catch. Just beyond Arthur is a doorway, and right behind the boy will be waiting on the right. The idea is to guide Arthur through the doorway, steer him to the right and start mashing the circle button or B on the Xbox to try and tackle him. I'll show you how I pull this off, then slow it down and show it again before moving on to the next method.
Ain't you tired yet, old man?
You little bastard!
I was just playing.
Like I said, this one's a bit tricky. You need to be quick after dismounting and even quicker mashing that circle button. If it doesn't work out, don't worry, the next method takes a little longer, but it's a lot easier. I recorded this method in a different playthrough, what I like to call the well-fed Arthur run, on account of his generous stomach and those unmistakable chubby cheeks. This method starts off in the usual way, chasing the boy until he hops onto the tram. From there, swing right and head for your horse, then mount up and follow the tram down the street. Keep close as it rolls along, and eventually the boy will jump off and dive down the same alleyway we saw in method 1. But this time we're not trying to catch him there, we'll keep the chase going for a bit longer. Stay on him through the winding alleys and corners, don't worry, there's a more forgiving opportunity to catch him just ahead. Once we come out onto the road, you'll need to dodge a wagon that cuts across your path, then follow the boy into yet another alleyway. But this time we're going to break from the obvious route, and instead of continuing to chase him, we're going to jump over this wall on the left to take a shortcut. Hopefully you'll land with a lot more grace than my Arthur did here. It must have been all those chocolate bars I'd been feeding him. Hop over the next wall, avoiding the wagon, unlike I did, and head straight out the doorway ahead. You'll see the boy heading left, and we're just about to intercept him by smashing through these gates and turning left to wait by the wall. He'll jump down from the ledge onto the street right in front of you. Just make sure Arthur is facing him, then mash the circle button or B on the Xbox and hope for the best. With any luck, you'll nail the tackle right there. Now there is one more method I've added since first making the standalone version of this gold medal guide for this mission, which I want to show you. This method I would describe as very quick, but also very tricky to master. It involves ensuring that you've equipped a sidearm, preferably the sawed-off shotgun, which worked better for me, and preloaded it before the mission start, even on a replay, with incendiary ammunition. This method will take place immediately when you come out of the cutscene where Cleet steals Arthur's bag. You cannot restart any checkpoints in this mission in order to meet your timed objective, so you must be able to practice and master this method in one go without using a checkpoint. So this might take quite a few goes to get it done, as it can be very glitchy if you don't get it right. Like with the first method, I will slow it right down in order for you to see what I did. As soon as you're back in control, immediately equip your weapon and take aim at the wagon. This will force the driver to get off, and eventually Cleet will get off the back of the wagon. This took me a while to master, while I failed to tackle Cleet to the ground many times. In this successful attempt, I put my gun away to see if this would make a difference. I also didn't stand too close to him in case he glitched. Once you've successfully caught him, you will also be very close to where Dutch is waiting for you, so you can immediately run towards him. I will quickly show you this again in real time, but I want to warn you, this method, although very quick, can be very frustrating to master. My advice is to go back and watch method 2, which is much easier to achieve.
You little bastard!
I was just playing.
Give my things back.
And that's it. All that's left to do now is whistle for your horse and ride back to Dutch, who's waiting just across from the saloon. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and be sure to check the description for more Red Dead Redemption 2 gold medal guides. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Welcome back everyone. In this video we're tackling the mission Angelo Bronte, a man of honour, and showing you how to snag that gold medal. To get the gold, here's what you'll need to do. Encounter both the dog and the drunk. No skipping your friendly neighbourhood weirdos. Don't get spotted by the law, so stay sneaky Arthur. Complete the mission within 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Ride like the wind, but don't miss your marks. And finally, get 4 headshots, so aim high and make them count. Now, as always, I'm doing this on a regular playthrough. The nice thing about that is Arthur gets those full health and deadeye calls, which definitely helps. But if you're doing this on a replay, no real disadvantage. You can still get the gold just fine. The great thing here is that there's no objective telling you not to use health items, so go ahead and stock up on tonics. You can absolutely use whatever you like to keep Arthur in fighting shape. However, I've marked this mission as tricky, not really quite hard, but it's close. That time limit is tight, and you can't just follow the game's usual path through the cemetery. If you do, you'll run out of time, so instead you'll need to carve your own faster way once the law are alerted. The mission begins with Arthur meeting Dutch and John outside Angelo Bronte's house. Bronte says he'll return Jack if Arthur and John will go and recover something from him at the local cemetery. So Dutch stays behind to charm his way into Mr. Bronte's good books, while we set off with John for a bit of late night grave robbing. Now, because of that timed objective, I'll be showing the full mission here so you can really get a sense of how tight it is, even with the shortcut out of the cemetery. That said, I will be skipping all the cutscenes, not because they aren't worth watching, this game's story is always a treat, but just to keep focus on the timing and the route. Thankfully, cutscenes do not count towards the mission timer, so if you're going for gold, you can safely watch them if you want to. There's a pretty lengthy one at the start and another when you return to Bronte, so it's good to know they won't eat your 10 minutes and 40 seconds. As soon as you head into Bronte's house here, you'll notice the minimap disappears. That's your cue that the mission timer has paused. So for the moment you step inside until you leave again and head towards the cemetery, you're free to take your time. No seconds ticking away while Bronte shows off his fancy carpets and dramatic flair. I've restarted the counter as soon as you're back in control and the game directs you to mount your horse. That's where the timer really begins and where we need to start being efficient.
Grave robbers? You think he's taking us for a fool?
No idea. What choice do we have?
Unfortunately, we're a bit limited during this first stretch. There's no opportunity to take any shortcuts on the ride to the cemetery because the game wants you to stay with John. If you're trying to sprint too far ahead, the game will actually slow you down, so instead, just ride at a steady, fast pace. If you push forward a little, John will usually adjust and match your speed. It's not perfect, but it's the best way to keep things moving without losing control to the game's restrictions. Just stay close enough to John to avoid any weird slowdowns, and you'll be setting yourself up well for the most intense part of the mission later on. Think of this section as your calm before the storm, because once we're at the cemetery, things are going to escalate rather quickly.
He's okay.
He'll be fine. I figured the Braithwaites were going to hold Jack ransom for all the money we cost him. They must have sent him here so we couldn't get to him. But
Once we finally made it to the cemetery, try to avoid parking your horse in the exact same spot as John. There's not much room, and you don't want to get stuck in a little horse shuffle. Just swing slightly to the side and head straight for the entrance. Now, even if you're quicker than John at dismounting, which you probably are, you still have to wait for him to go through the gate first. The game won't let you enter until he does, so don't stress too much about the timer here. Just get in position and be ready to move. And remember, the real-time pressure starts once we're inside and searching. Once inside the cemetery, you can technically speed Arthur up a little bit by doing what's known as a bunny hop. Basically, just repeatedly hitting the jump button as you move. I don't do it here, but it does make Arthur go a tiny bit faster. It also makes him look absolutely ridiculous, so it's a trade-off. If you're really tight on time and need to squeeze out every second, it's an option. Just be careful not to bunny hop straight into a crypt wall. From the entrance we head straight to the lit up area ahead. It's a good visual guide to follow. Then we're going to take a right turn to meet up with the dog, and once you've found him you don't need to interact with it. You can turn around and head back towards the middle again. Once you've returned to the lit up podium area, you should start hearing the sounds of a drunk man mumbling somewhere nearby. From the podium, take a right and make your way past a few graves, then hang a left to greet the drunk. This is the second required encounter for the gold medal, so make sure you don't miss it. It's easy to rush past if you're not paying attention, but just like with the dog, it's quick and counts towards your checklist. Now we need to start heading towards the top left corner of the cemetery. This is where the action is going to kick off, but not just yet. You won't actually see the grave robbers right away, but you'll trigger a bit of movement and atmosphere that lets you know you're on the right path. Just keep moving in that direction and get ready, things are about to get noisy. I've stopped the timer here because we're about to hit another short cutscene. John comes crashing in with a yell of, "You found my puppy's watch yet?" And after all that, hell will break loose. This is your best chance to take down as many of the grave robbers as possible, so be ready. Using Deadeye is a must here, so get as many of them as you can before they run off. Aim for those headshots. Remember, we need 4 to meet the objective, and this is where most of them are going to come from. If we're going to meet the timed objective, we have to try and get at least 3 of them down here. Once those 3 are taken care of, head back towards the lit up podium, because that is usually where the last one runs off towards. With the last one down, as tempting as it is to stop and loot all the grave robbers, because trust me, they're carrying a lot of money, we have to ignore the temptation and keep moving. Instead, turn around and run back towards the spot where we first encountered them. Before starting the mission, I actually put a marker on the map to help me remember exactly where that was, and I definitely recommend doing the same. After we've looted the stash and the law gets alerted, this is the point where we have to politely ignore whatever plan John has for escaping the cemetery and take our own route back to the entrance.
robbing grave robbers, we've hit the big time. Think there might be something in here.
Now, some of the guides you may have watched will tell you to turn right and hug the outer wall, but I don't do that. I actually go left in the same direction John takes and stick to the wall on that side. I find this route much easier to remember and navigate with less guards to avoid.
Let's just track back to where we came in.
I don't really pay attention to what John's doing at this point though. Instead, I focus on the guards, watching what direction they're facing on the minimap and waiting for one of them to clear the path before I move.
I found a body. Looks fresh.
John is still with you at this point, but wait for this guard to turn around and move away. You know it's safe when the minimap indicates he's facing in the opposite direction. Once it's safe to move, I keep hugging the left wall and start making my way around the cemetery towards the main entrance. This is exactly what I meant earlier about this route being better. There are no guards along this stretch that you need to worry about. It's a clean, low-risk path, no weaving between patrols or gambling with line of sight. Just stay close to the edge, keep moving, and you'll be out in no time. Keep hugging the wall and eventually it will turn to the right. This is the main outer wall that leads to the entrance. When you get near the gate, you'll notice 2 guards standing nearby. Hang back slightly to the right here, just close enough to trigger them to walk away. Once you see them start to move on your mini-map, the path is clear and you can make a break for the exit. As you can see, before the mission started, I even put a marker on the map to remind me where this was. Time is still against us here, so as soon as the entrance is clear, run as fast as you can through the gate and head straight for your horse. Don't worry about John, he'll catch up eventually, probably grumbling about his pappy's watch on the way. As you can see, I take a right and carry on straight down the road. Shortly after, the game will catch up with you and very kindly put a yellow path on the minimap for you to follow. At this point, ride as fast as you possibly can. There are no NPCs or obstacles to worry about, so you don't need to hold back. Just keep your speed up and stay on track. This is the final stretch and every second counts.
You all right?
You best not be playing games with us.
He almost certainly is. But let's just see. Keep your head.
Head straight for the yellow X on your minimap and jump off your horse when you get there. That's your destination. The timer will briefly pause here for one last cutscene which you can skip. This is where we finally find Jack safe and sound and dressed in some very fancy new clothes courtesy of Mr. Angelo Bronte himself. Now just a quick note, the timer doesn't restart until you're back in control of Arthur and the game tells you to mount your horse. So don't stress, if you choose to watch the cutscene, you're still in the clear. Just a word of warning here, believe it or not, I've actually failed this part of the mission before because I have somehow managed to scare Jack. So when you're getting back on your horse, just make sure to give him a wide berth. No sudden turns or running up behind him. Just take it slow and mount from the side. You don't want to blow the gold medal right at the finish line.
All right, let's get this boy back to his mother. You sure you're okay, son?
Now from here, there's no way of speeding things up. It's a slow ride back to Shady Belle and there's nothing you can do to make it go any faster. But honestly, it's worth soaking it in. This part of the mission is a bit of a breather after all the sneaking and shooting in the cemetery, and the dialogue is great.
And lots of books.
Did they do anything?
Dutch, of course, is feeling very pleased with himself. He's convinced he's formed a bond with Angelo Bronte and starts talking about how he's made an in with the right crowd. He's practically glowing as he tells us we've been invited to a garden party, and you can just hear the excitement in his voice. He thinks he's pulling off some grand plan, and it's classic Dutch, charming, confident, and probably in way over his head. Meanwhile, Jack starts opening up about what happened while he was gone. It's almost unsettling how well he was treated. He talks about the food, the fancy clothes, like he was a guest more than a hostage. It's only one of those moments that makes you raise an eyebrow at Bronte and wonder what his real game was. And as for John, you can tell it's hitting him. The guilt, the realisation of how much he's let things slide. He doesn't say much, but you can feel it in the tone. It's a subtle moment, but an important one for his character arc. So just let the ride play out, listen to the dialogue and take a breather. You've earned it after making it through that tight time limit and nailing the objectives.
You know, I thought I heard gunshots, but the gramophone was playing.
Unbelievable.
Each to their strengths, Arthur. I went in there with a gun and left with a party invitation.
As we turn to the left here, we know the end is in sight. Shady Belle is just up ahead, and after everything we've been through tonight, it's a welcome sight. The final timer will stop once your minimap disappears and the gang all run out to greet Jack. It's a sweet little ending with everyone rushing out to welcome Jack home, a rare moment of peace, even if we know it won't last long. So there you have it, and fingers crossed you got the gold on your first try. If this guide helped you out, please do stop and let me know how you got on, or drop any questions you have in the comments. I always love hearing how folks are doing. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this useful. You'll find a link to the full playlist of my gold medal guides in the description, along with other tutorials covering all kinds of tips and tricks across Red Dead Redemption 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Welcome back to my gold medal trophy guides for Red Dead Redemption 2. In this video we're knocking out two side missions, Help a Brother Out and Brothers and Sisters One and All. They're both relatively easy and they count towards the Gold Rush trophy, so if you're chasing all 70 gold medals, this is a great opportunity to grab a couple more. Let's kick things off with Help a Brother Out, and to earn the gold medal you need to 1. Find the captives without threatening the store owner, and 2. Complete the mission in under 2 minutes and 45 seconds. The mission starts when Arthur speaks to Brother Dawkins near the market entrance in Saint Denis. He will tell Arthur he's concerned that Saint Denis is acting as a shipping post for slaves, and he heard the pawnbroker is helping to sell them. So he asks Arthur to go and investigate the fence that's found near the market. As soon as you're back in control, we're going to sprint as fast as we can to the fence. Don't worry about bumping into people, the game won't give you a wanted level during this mission. Honestly though, when I'm not chasing timers, I do like to bump into everyone here just for fun. It turns the whole street into chaos. Once inside the shop, ignore the store owner and head straight to the back. Inspect the scratches on the floor in front of the bookcase, and Arthur will comment on them and the shopkeeper will nervously play dumb.
Something don't seem right.
Wait a few seconds for the prompt to appear, then move the bookcase. As soon as Arthur starts pushing it aside, the store owner panics and bolts out of the shop.
I must say, you're acting very strange. Just what is it you want? Maybe you should leave now. You're crazy. I'm going to get help.
No.
All you need to do now is head down into the basement to find the captives chained up against walls in the back. To free them, you just need to interact with them both and select free.
Now don't worry. I'm on your side.
Help, please.
Please, I'm on your side. It's gonna be okay.
And for a bonus tip on your way back up, if you're quick, you can walk to the counter and give the captive some money from the till. It's not required for gold, but it does give you a small honour boost. If you're replaying the mission or worried about the time, you can skip that part to save a few seconds. Incidentally, you should know that cutscenes do not count towards the timer, and it's perfectly safe to skip them. The timer starts after you come out of the first cutscene after talking to Brother Dawkins, and it ends when you reach him after freeing the captives. I've put a timer in the corner so you can see that even by making this slight detour and robbing the till, I was still able to complete the mission in time. Now the last thing we need to do is head back outside and sprint through the marketplace to find Brother Dawkins, who's right where you left him, at the market entrance. Don't worry about bumping into anyone, and the freed captives will follow you and keep up just fine, even at full speed. So just as a recap, in order to get the gold, you don't threaten the store owner, and you finish in under 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Very doable if you follow this exact route without stopping. That's 1 more gold secured. Next up is Brothers and Sisters One and All, which is actually a follow-up to the previous mission, so they do need to be done in order. While Help a Brother Out was pretty easy, this one is a bit trickier. There's only 1 gold medal objective, but it's a tight one. Find the kid within 19 seconds. It sounds simple, but trust me, the window is small, and I had to run this a couple of times before nailing it. So if you're doing this on a regular playthrough, be sure to save your game beforehand, just in case you miss the timing. This mission is the first time we're introduced to Sister Calderon, where a cheeky little orphan steals her cross, and it's up to Arthur to retrieve it for her. I've tried to add a timer here for you, but to be honest, it's really difficult to gauge when the timer starts and finishes. There is no miracle route to take that will cut corners. You will need to engage muscle memory and not stop and interact with anyone. Use the yellow blips as reminders. Onto the final stretch here, ignore my collision with the telegraph pole. Be sure to hug the pavement on the right, which is slightly quicker, because on a previous attempt I failed because I deviated from it. Once you've reached the kid, you can take a bit of a breather because your one and only objective has hopefully been completed. But you must complete the last bit of the mission before you can reap the rewards. I'll show you the best way to do this and avoid being detected by the law. After retrieving the cross, there will be a short cutscene where Arthur spots Mrs. Downs in an alleyway. Mrs. Downs then suddenly calls out for the law and we find ourselves immediately wanted. The easier thing to do here once you're back in control is to head straight through the market and head in the direction of your horse, which you can see on the minimap. The horse is sat waiting for you just outside the red wanted blip. Once I'm on the horse, I just head to the end of the street and hide just around the corner and wait for the wanted level to go down. I then ride back down the same street and in the direction of the fence.
You got a brain problem?
Once you've reached the market and fence, keep going straight on still until you can see the general store on your left. Then take a right turn just before the general store. This leads us towards the back of the church where we can take a left and get into the church grounds from the back entrance. And that's both help a brother out and brother and sisters, one and all, 2 side missions that are quick, meaningful and definitely worth doing if you're chasing the Gold Rush trophy. The first one's all about speed and observation and the second one tests your reflexes, but once you've got them down, they're easy golds to add to your total. Plus you get to meet Sister Cauldron, who ends up playing a powerful role later in the story, and let's be honest, any mission where you get to chase a pickpocket through Saint Denis in under 19 seconds, that's pure cowboy cardio. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Welcome back to another gold medal mission guide for Red Dead Redemption 2. We're now deep into chapter 4 and today we're tackling the mission, the Gilded Cage. Thankfully this mission is straightforward and easy, bringing you another step closer to achieving your Gold Rush trophy. On the screen you can see the objectives you'll need to complete. While at the party, pour some drinks, compliment a guest's attire, accept a gift and save a life, and finally follow the servant without being detected. Now let's jump right in it and get that gold. We start off with a carriage ride driven by Lenny to the mayor's house where we find Dutch, Hosea, Bill and Arthur all dressed up and looking sharp. Upon arrival, simply follow Dutch and the waiter until you meet Angelo Bronte for a short cutscene on the veranda. Afterwards we walk down the stairs to find Dutch standing near the final set of stairs overlooking the party. Once you've spoken to Dutch, control returns to Arthur and that's when our objectives begin. Head down either set of stairs on your left or right to join the party. Before seeking out the mayor, there are 4 key things you need to complete for the objective. First, approach the 3 ladies standing near a table with champagne. Use the left trigger to offer them some champagne.
Marie? No, I am quite that much of a Philistine. Used to be a great beauty.
Would you like some champagne?
Next you will see 2 gentlemen nearby discussing a theatre show. Stand close and wait patiently. One of them will offer you a free ticket to the show. Be mindful, this one you don't need to use the left trigger. If you do use the left trigger, it might hide the offer of the ticket.
Gentlemen, I hope you're having a fine...
Oh, would you like tickets? What? This cabaret show at the Theatre Remua. It's jolly fun.
But, Mr. Lemieux, I suggested that all
Sure.
had a duty to take care of people living in this land.
Thank you very much.
Then find a lady near the stairs and the band who is wearing an eye-catching hairpiece. Use the left trigger to compliment her.
It really is a beautiful hair.
I got it from Mr. Wasp. He's the finest milliner in the state and quite the most interesting purveyor of the exotic. But don't tell anyone, sir. The women here are all desperate to know.
Your friends will also be around chatting leisurely. There's no rush, so feel free to listen in on their conversations. But avoid approaching the mayor just yet. He's marked by the yellow dot on your minimap. I highly recommend listening to Bill's conversation. It's genuinely amusing. Finally, to finish off this first objective, we need to save Algernon Wasp's life. He's located near some tables on the left side of the party area, close to where Hosea is charming a bank manager. Find him by this table here and approach him. When you get close, he'll start to choke on a nut, so be a hero and step in and save him.
And who do you bank with?
Oh, the usual bunch of clowns in here.
You okay?
Oh, my lord. The pesky nut. What a way to go, eh? Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, yes.
Once you've poured drinks, obtained your theatre ticket, complimented the guest's attire and saved Algernon's life, you're clear to proceed and speak with the mayor. You'll find him because by this point he'll be marked with a yellow circle on the minimap. He's standing in the centre near the fountain. Arthur will have to step in to throw a drunk party guest out of the party before returning to the mayor once more. During another cutscene, we overhear the waiter telling the mayor that Mr. Cornwall needs to speak to him. Dutch then asks Arthur to follow the waiter to find out more information. So now, in order to meet the final objective, we need to tail the waiter, but must not at any time be spotted by him. If you do get spotted by him, you will need to restart the mission and try again. Keep an eye on the minimap. The waiter will be the yellow circle, and you can tell which direction he's facing by seeing the arc of light in front of the yellow circle. It's pretty easy to follow him as he goes up the stairs, hang back and wait for him to turn right into the house. I will leave all this in for you so you can see how I did it.
No problems? Everything's fine.
I'm hanging back here and waiting to see the yellow on the map turn right into the house. Only once he's moved will I start walking ahead.
We're watching him and his men like hawks. Thank you, Mr. Turp.
As you can see, the waiter indicated by the yellow marker on the minimap has started to turn right and is making his way through to the back room of the house. So now is your time to start moving up. You can see the waiter ahead of you, so hang back and take cover by the entrance until you can see it's safe to continue into the house.
The mayor said he will sign later.
We have to wait for a while here whilst he tells off one of the servant girls. He then moves into a room on the right hand side, so we know it's now safe to move again. You don't need to go all the way to the back, you can take an immediate right and hover near the curtains of the next entrance, whilst he then berates another of the servant girls. Don't be tempted to go beyond this door until you see the yellow marker start heading up the stairs. As you can see, you can get a good look at the waiter and what he's doing. Once he turns around and heads towards the stairs, that will be your cue to start moving again.
This is a final warning to you, miss. A final warning. Now get out of my sight.
As he finally heads up the stairs, we know that we're on the last stretch here. We just need to slowly walk behind him until we reach the top of the stairs. Once you reach the top of the stairs, stop and peer around the corner and wait for the waiter to open the door of the room opposite. Watch the minimap because eventually, once he's finished locking up the desk, he will head out of the room at the back and disappear to the left. That is then our cue to head into the office. All we have to do now is break into the desk and retrieve the secret document. There's also a letter on the side of the desk which will make interesting reading if you choose to pick it up. That is all the objectives done, so what you need to do now is head back down the stairs and out onto the small veranda again overlooking the party to regroup with the gang. Once you regroup, you just need to follow the game's instructions and head back out to find Lenny waiting for you to take you back to camp. Thank you so much for watching. If this guide helped you secure the gold medal, please do hit that like button. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or tips of your own. Don't forget, there are more detailed guides covering every aspect of RDR2 in the description below, along with a handy link to the full playlist of gold medal guides. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video. Welcome back to another gold medal mission guide. Today we're saddling up for chapter 4's No, No and Thrice No. It's short, it's intense, and it's surprisingly easy to mess up if you're not careful. There are only 2 requirements for this mission, but they both hinge on being quick, clean, and most importantly not letting Susan Grimshaw steal your thunder. The objectives are kill both of the foreman boys during your chase and finish with at least 90% accuracy. I've labelled this as easy, assuming you're reasonably comfortable using Deadeye, so let's get on with the mission. As with a lot of my guides, I'm doing this on a regular playthrough, which means I can make sure Arthur is carrying a repeater beforehand. If you're replaying the mission though, don't worry too much. If you've got a decent firearm, something like an upgraded Schofield, you'll be just fine. Targeting enemies on horseback shouldn't be too difficult. And what's also great about this mission, if you're playing through normally, is you get a chance to pick up a beautiful, rare and brave horse called the Leopard Appaloosa, and it won't cost you a dime. So, after a quick chat with Mary Beth in camp, Arthur teams up with Susan for a rescue mission. Tilly's been taken by the Foreman brothers, and we're not having it. Once you reach the house, Susan kicks things off by absolutely deleting the guard out the front. No hesitation and no mercy. Once inside, you'll need to take out 2 enemies that are waiting for you. Accuracy is absolutely what matters here, so don't just fire wildly. This is where Deadeye becomes your best friend. Line up those headshots and get them down clean. One of the gold medal objectives is to maintain 90% accuracy, and that's pretty high. As long as your crosshair is red when you aim and fire, you're good to go. Just make every shot count. This isn't the time for warning shots or itchy trigger fingers. As I entered the house, I easily took out the first enemy in the room on the left, but as you'll see, I too have a tendency to be a bit trigger happy. I didn't get the headshot on the second guy as I entered the next room, but the crosshair was red, so it's all good. Thankfully, there's no objective for headshots in this mission. You'll find Tilly tied up inside, untie her, listen to what happened, and then it's time for some real action.
Now catch that bastard!
After the short cutscene, the Foreman boys make their escape. There are 2 henchmen and the leader, Anthony. You need to kill both henchmen yourself before Susan does. If she takes even one of them, that gold medal is gone. This is where it's handy to have that repeater with you, but if you're doing this as a replay, a good sidearm like the upgraded Schofield should do the trick. It's much easier to target them using Deadeye. If you need a refresher on how to manually tag targets, I've dropped a link in the description. Try not to get too close to them or Susan might start taking pot shots of her own. Just hang back, line up your shots and take them out clean. Oh, and go easy on the riding. Last thing you need is to face plant into a tree while trying to be a hero. Once the others are dead, lasso Anthony Foreman. Don't shoot him, he has to be brought back alive. Hog tie him, toss him on your horse and head back to the house. And this right here is also where you get the chance to snag that Leopard Appaloosa for free, if you're doing this on a normal run, not a replay. It's a striking horse, bright, spotted, lean and full of personality. It may not have elite handling, but once you're fully bonded with it, it's brave, loyal and won't flinch in a fight. A proper outlaw's companion. Once the mission is over, don't leave it at Radley's house, ride it to stable or back to camp. Back at the house, Tilly will give him a piece of her mind. You can either let him go or put a knife in him. I won't tell you what to do, but let's just say he's not on Santa's nice list. If you don't kill him now, he will pop up later for you as a Sandony bounty. And that's it, fast, focused, and if you don't let Susan hog the action, you'll walk away with the gold. Let me know in the comments if she robbed you again. There's no shame in restarting a checkpoint. I've done it a lot. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to another gold medal guide. This time we're tackling Horsemen Apocalypse. This is actually one of my favourite missions, great action, high stakes, though I'll never forgive what happens to poor Kieran. We don't even see it, just his headless body riding into camp, holding his own head. Grim doesn't even cover it. Anyway, to get the gold, here's what you'll need to do. Shoot the O'Driscolls in the boat before they disembark. Use only sidearms for the entire mission. Finish with at least 70% accuracy. Land 15 headshots and don't use any health items. I'll walk you through the cleanest way to check all 5 boxes. Quick, efficient and just a little bit stylish. Let's get into it. We start off talking to Sadie, only to be interrupted, surprise, surprise, by Dutch with another one of his grand ideas. Now, while this little cinematic is playing out, I just want to use the time to give you some important advice before we hit the action. I've graded this mission as tricky, mainly because of the accuracy and headshot requirements, but don't worry, Deadeye is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. First up, no health items. This means no tonics, no food, no sneaky sips of Miracle Cure. It affects your health core, leave it alone. And just as a warning, if you die during this mission and reload from a checkpoint, that also counts as using a health item, so you'll need to restart the mission from the beginning to keep your gold medal. Second, 70% accuracy. This means you'll want to avoid missed shots as much as possible. Deadeye helps with that, especially if you're manually tagging targets. I've got a link in the description if you need a quick refresher. The basic rule, if your crosshair is red, when you fire the game counts it as a hit, not a miss, so aim smart. And finally, sidearms only. That means pistols or revolvers, no rifles, no shotguns, no funny business. Just pick your favourite and stick with it. After the cinematic and the awful moment when Kieran's body rides into camp, we're thrown straight into the action. You'll start on the first floor veranda with a brief window to pick off as many O'Driscolls as you can from up there. Remember, only sidearms, but you can still reach some of the enemies below. Use Deadeye here, it makes this section much easier and helps you keep that all-important accuracy percentage up. What also rattles me here is that as you come down you can clearly see poor little Jack still outside, with John shielding him in the middle of all the gunfire. It's one of those moments that really hits you. Amidst all the chaos, there's still this scared kid in the middle of it all. If you haven't got too many headshots yet, don't worry, there's still plenty of opportunity as we head downstairs and move outside. Once you're back on ground level, things get hectic fast. Stick to cover and keep your sidearm equipped, and line up those shots carefully. This is where Deadeye and patience really pay off, especially if you're still working towards that 15 headshot goal. One important thing to watch as the fight continues, keep an eye on the outer ring of your Deadeye core. When the outer bar starts to run low, use a Deadeye tonic to replenish it. This stops your inner core from turning red, which is when things get tricky. A red core makes it much harder to aim accurately, even if you're using a fortified tonic. And since you need both headshots and high accuracy, keeping Deadeye in top shape is absolutely essential. Keep an eye on the game's instructions, and when it tells you to fall back to the house, make sure you do it. Don't be a hero and stay out there picking off stragglers. If you linger too long, you risk taking unnecessary damage or even failing the mission. Just follow the prompt and retreat when you're told. Once you're back inside, Dutch gives his next set of instructions and you'll take position at one of the windows, right next to John. This is another solid opportunity to pick off a few more O'Driscolls and work on your headshot count. Don't just stick to one window, use both to get better angles and line up your shots carefully. Remember to keep Deadeye topped up, stick with your sidearm and aim for the head whenever possible. Every clean shot here helps set you up for the gold. Eventually you'll hear Sadie screaming outside. At that point you can just hop through one of the windows and head in her direction. She'll be marked with a yellow circle on your mini-map. It might sound like she's in trouble, but don't worry, it's Sadie Adler. Turns out she's managing just fine on her own and definitely doesn't need Arthur to come charging in as her hero. Still, follow the marker and be ready, there are a few more enemies to deal with before things wrap up. The next key objective kicks in now. Stop the O'Driscolls from getting off the boat. Wait for the game to prompt you to protect Sadie, then make your way towards the small house by the water. You know, the one where Strauss likes to lurk during the day. There'll be one enemy posted at the house. I usually deal with him quickly, but my real focus is on the water. Watch for the boat to appear, and as soon as it does, go straight into Deadeye. Tag their heads if you can and take them out before they disembark. This is one of your gold medal requirements, so if one of them makes it onto land, you'll need to restart the mission. After dealing with the enemies on the boat, we start making our way round to the side of the house, taking out any O'Driscolls in our path. It takes a little while to reach the front, so use this stretch to your advantage. Line up as many headshots as you can while moving forward. I like to hang back just before reaching the front of the house, giving myself a bit of breathing room to squeeze in a few extra shots before the final cinematic kicks in. And just to recap, sidearms only, no rifles, no explosives, just your trusty pistol or revolver. Deadeye helps with both headshots and accuracy, so keep it active. Watch your Deadeye bar and top it up before the core turns red. Make every shot count, only shoot when that crosshair is red, and of course no health items or it's gold medal denied. Once you hit the front of the house, the final cinematic will take over and you're done. And that's it, Horseman Apocalypse complete, and if you followed all that you should have the gold medal locked in. This one's definitely a bit of a challenge with the accuracy and headshot requirements, but once you got the rhythm, it's actually really satisfying, especially with Deadeye doing half the work. If this guide has helped you out, don't forget to drop a like or leave a comment to let me know how you got on. And if you're chasing golds across the whole game, I've got plenty more guides on the channel to help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to another instalment of my gold medal guides. In this video we're tackling the chapter 4 mission, A Fine Night of Debauchery, a fancy night out that as always ends in absolute chaos. Before we head aboard the Grand Corrigan, let's take a quick look at the requirements for that gold medal. Win the game of poker without Strauss's help. After your cover is blown, escape the boat in under 35 seconds. Get 5 headshots and complete the mission without taking any health items. I've labelled this mission as tricky, and that's mostly down to the final escape from the boat, where you've just got 35 seconds to get out and land 5 headshots on the way. It's tight and chaotic, and honestly it can be really frustrating. You'll likely need a couple of attempts to get it right, or possibly even more. No shame in that, I'm pretty sure it took me a few attempts to nail it. And what makes repeating it even more annoying is the painfully long-winded story section at the beginning. Strolling along with Trelawney, getting your hair styled, then getting suited and booted like you're off to Fashion Week. But before we skip ahead to when we actually get to the boat, let's quickly go over some house rules you probably know by now, especially if you've been following my other guides. First up, to get the gold you must complete the mission without using any health items. That means no eating or drinking anything that affects your health. No cooked meat, no canned food, no health tonics, miracle tonics or sneaky swigs of moonshine. And yes, dying counts as using a health item, so we're going for clean survival here. Second is Deadeye. It's your best friend in these gold medal runs. Used right, it guarantees clean headshots and keeps you alive in tight spots. If you need a refresher, I've included links in the description for how to maintain your cores, especially Deadeye, and how to manually tag targets. It makes a huge difference. Okay, now all that's out of the way, let's get on to what you're really here for, the action on the boat. We're skipping ahead and jumping straight to the good stuff, Arthur arriving at the poker tables, looking sharp and ready to hustle. Now remember, one of the gold medal objectives is to win the game without any help from Strauss, so you'll need to play smart, but thankfully it's not actually that complicated. Here's all you need to do. On the very first hand, all you need to do is fold.
So, how are we all feeling?
Then on the next 2, just go all in, both times.
I would stick to oil, Mr. Callahan. I don't think you have a future on the stage.
You sound just like my wife.
Just one important reminder: to meet the objective you need to pretend that Strauss does not exist. That means do not press R1 or the right bumper if you're on Xbox, or you'll accidentally glance at him for advice and there goes your gold medal. Once you've successfully hustled Desmond Blythe out of his riches, the pit boss will ask you to follow him upstairs to the office. Go ahead and follow, but stay alert because things are about to take a turn.
Just give me 1 second, sir.
Of course, take your time.
When you reach the office, Javier, disguised as a guard, will knock out the real guard. He'll tell you to disarm the pit boss, which triggers the next phase of the mission.
I guess you were right.
While you're helping yourself to the loot in the safe, the pit boss pulls a surprise. Turns out he's packing another gun. This is your first opportunity to land a clean headshot. Luckily the game drops you straight into Deadeye here, so just tag his head and fire. That's 1 out of 5 done and the easiest out of the bunch, so don't waste it. With the safe looted and watch in hand, all that's left to do now is follow Javier back to the casino floor and to find Trelawney. As you make your way through, keep an eye for the door on the left. That's our future escape route and we'll be blasting through it very soon. Now this is the moment you've all been waiting for. The action is about to kick off and it'll be over in a flash. Well, 35 seconds to be exact, because once we reach the bar, the mission hits full throttle. That's when the alarm is raised, the guns come out, and we'll have 35 seconds to get off this boat and hit those headshots on the way. So get ready, this is where the real challenge begins. As soon as you're back in control of Arthur, you can stay in cover behind the bar briefly. From that position, you should be able to take out at least 3 or 4 guards right away. Use Deadeye and aim for the head. This is your best chance to rack up those required headshots. But don't hang around admiring your work, time is ticking. Once those initial enemies are down, start making your way to the right side of the room, where the escape door will be opened. Keep using manual Deadeye tagging to pick off the enemies along the way. Every headshot counts and every second matters. Once you see the prompt that tells you to escape the boat, the moment you see it, do not hesitate. Head straight to the door and make your exit. This is a tight window, so keep calm, move quickly and don't stop for anything. After a brief cutscene, the mission comes to an end and you'll find yourself back in Saint-Denis, hopefully with a shiny gold medal for your efforts. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, feel free to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more RDR2 gold medal tips and walkthroughs. Let me know in the comments how many tries this one took you. And if you're still chasing 100% or working through the rest of the gold medals, I've got plenty more guides on the way. Thanks again and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to my Gold Medal Guide series. This time we're taking on the mission Urban Pleasures in Chapter 4. It's a fast-paced mission with a total of 5 objectives and most of them during the escape, so you'll need to be quick and accurate. So let's get into it. To get the gold medal, you'll need to meet the following objectives: rob all the customers in the trolley station, kill 10 lawmen while on the trolley, prevent any lawman from jumping on the back of the wagon, shoot the dynamite Lenny throws, and complete the mission without taking any health items. Before we move on to the action, I want to give you some very important advice. If you skip ahead and don't listen, please don't come back angry in the comments. This part could save you a lot of frustration, and I did try to warn you. As always, Deadeye is your best friend. You'll need it for speed, precision and survival. That's true for most gold medals, but especially this one. As always, there is a Deadeye tutorial in the description. But if you listen to nothing else I say, hear this. Bring a pistol with you, not a revolver. Trust me, you'll be shooting enemies while on a moving trolley, and every time I tried it with a revolver, I failed to meet the objective. For some reason, Rockstar desperately wants you to use the pistol for this mission. Finally, let's also get the last objective clarified for you. You must not take any health items throughout the entire mission. That means no health tonics, no cheeky swigs of moonshine, nothing. And if you die at any point, that counts as a health item too. So if that happens, you'll need to start the mission all over again from the beginning. With that said, let's skip ahead to our arrival at the trolley station. Once you're inside the trolley station, there are 3 customers you need to rob. Just walk up to each one, face them and look for the rob prompt in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You don't need to aim your weapon, just press the button and move on. Make sure you get all 3 before getting access to the safe or you'll miss the objective. Once you've robbed all 3 customers, who to be fair are more shocked than combative, we gain access to the office and then the safe. Dutch stays back keeping watch and holding the line while Arthur handles the rest. And of course we crack the safe and there's barely anything inside. Hardly seems worth the bullets we're about to dodge. Right on cue, the law shows up, not that surprising really, which starts to make you wonder, was Bronte setting us up? Either way, time to make a very loud exit. After a short cutscene we find ourselves on the trolley. This is where the second objective kicks in. Kill 10 lawmen while on the trolley. As I warned you at the beginning, you must do this using a pistol. The enemies come in waves, mostly from behind or at the sides. Use Deadeye when needed and focus on accuracy over panic fire. Watch your minimap to track where they're coming from and swap sides when necessary, so you're always covering the angle they're approaching from. Now here's something I ran into during testing. When I used a revolver and swapped sides, the game would sometimes glitch out. Arthur just refused to shoot. So here it is again. Third warning, bring a pistol. Save yourself some stress. I'll let the rest of the trolley ride play out now so you can see how the pacing goes. Keep an eye on the top left hand corner. I'll have a hit count on the screen so you know how close we are to that target of 10 kills.
Bronte is gonna... For this.
Outside the saloon. On down. We are moving here. Arthur, slow us down. Slow this thing down. I'll try.
After the next cutscene, the trolley crashes and we're back on foot, fighting our way through the streets to escape the law. There's no timer here and the only objective currently in play is the health item one. So while this section plays out, here's a reminder. Do not take any health items. That includes health tonics, miracle tonics, moonshine, or anything edible like cooked meat or canned food. If you die, it also counts as a health item. What you can take is snake oil or chewing tobacco to reinforce the outer bar of your Deadeye. Keep an eye on that outer bar and take a tonic before it fully depletes. This will protect your inner core, and that's important because once the core turns red, your aim in Deadeye becomes much more unpredictable, even with a tonic active. Once we fought our way through the streets of Saint-Denis, we eventually come across a wagon to help with our escape. This is when the third objective kicks in, prevent any lawmen from jumping on the back of the wagon. It's not enough to just shoot them, you have to stop them before they climb aboard. If even one manages to get on, the gold medal is gone. It's probably best to switch to a repeater for this part. There's nothing particularly tricky to do here, just keep an eye on your minimap to see where the lawmen are coming next. Use Deadeye regularly and don't give them a chance to get anywhere near the wagon. To be honest, in all the playthroughs I've done, I've never actually seen any lawman make it onto the wagon, so I don't think you'll have too much trouble here. Just remember to keep your snake oil topped up, and whatever you do, don't let your inner Deadeye core turn red. If you skipped the previous section when we were on foot running through Saint-Denis, skip back now. I explain more about how to manage your Deadeye properly and why it matters. I'll leave the rest of the wagon ride play out now for those who want to see how I handle it in real time. After this we'll reach the final stretch where the lawmen have tried to block the bridge and cut off our exit out of Saint-Denis. As you can see here, I don't listen to my own advice, as usual, and I let my inner Deadeye core drain to red. From this point on, targeting in Deadeye is a bit trickier for me, but I do get there in the end. So let that be a reminder, keep that core healthy. So now we're reaching the bridge, only to find it blocked by lawmen. This is where our very last objective kicks in. You need to shoot the dynamite that Lenny throws. He will shout just before he throws it, so get ready to enter Deadeye immediately. The dynamite will arc in from the right hand side of your screen, and your best chance is to aim slightly ahead of its path. Don't wait until it's too close to the ground. It helps to line up your reticle around the centre right area as soon as he calls out, so you're not scrambling to find it mid-air. If you're low on Deadeye, use snake oil just before the bridge sequence starts to make sure you're covered. And that's it, gold medal complete for Urban Pleasures. It's a tricky one, but with the right preparation and a pistol, you should get through it without too much trouble. If this guide has helped you, please consider liking the video, subscribing for more gold medal guides, and leaving a comment to let me know how you got on, or if you've got a mission you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to another one of my gold medal guides. This time we're focusing our attention on Fatherhood and Other Dreams 2. This mission is really easy to overlook because it's a side mission, not one of the main story beats. But if you're chasing that Gold Rush trophy, this one definitely counts. It's got a gold medal attached and it's honestly one of the easier ones to tick off your list. So don't skip it, put it on your Gold Rush to-do list. It has two very straightforward objectives tied to the gold medal. One, catch the wagon and take it to the secluded spot within 1 minute and 45 seconds, and two, take Mary to the theatre. And look, I know, as much as I'd rather Arthur didn't get tangled up in Mary's endless drama, we're going to have to grin and bear it for this one. The man's got a medal to earn, and apparently that comes with a side order of awkward ex-girlfriend errands. This mission becomes available at the start of Chapter 4 after you've rescued Jack from the clutches of Angelo Bronte. You'll get a letter from Mary back at camp. Make sure you actually read it or this mission won't appear on your map. Mary asks Arthur to meet her at a hotel in Saint Denis. Once you get there, brace yourself. There's a pretty long cutscene to sit through before you can actually do anything. You can skip the cutscene if you want. It won't affect your chances at that gold medal. At the end of it, you'll get a choice. Help Mary or tell her no. Now, I know this is the part where a lot of us are tempted to make Arthur suddenly develop a backbone and just walk away. But if you say no, the mission ends immediately and you won't get a chance to complete the 2 gold medal requirements. So go ahead and choose yes to help Mary. With that done, Arthur gets roped into another long story sequence. You'll escort Mary to the stables to track down her father. And then there's a slow follow mission through the streets of Saint Denis where you need to keep your distance. Don't worry about rushing. There's no medal objectives tied to that section, so take as long as you like. The next gold medal objective only kicks in after the cutscene where Mary finally confronts her father for pawning off her mother's brooch. So we'll fast forward to that part because this is where the action will start. As soon as that argument is over, you'll need to chase down the carriage, take control of it and drive it to a secluded spot within 1 minute and 45 seconds. I'm going to include a timer on screen from this point forward so you can actually see how I did it. Now, Rockstar doesn't make it super clear when the gold medal timers officially start, but in this mission it seems to trigger the moment the game flashes up chase after the wagon. So as soon as you see that prompt, your clock is running. As soon as you see the prompt, make Arthur sprint after the coach as fast as you can. It'll be marked with a yellow X on your minimap. Don't panic, you won't be running for too long. Your horse is still tied up just outside the stables where you left it. Even if you try and whistle, your horse won't come to you during this section. So keep an eye on the minimap, get to it quickly and mount up as soon as you reach it. A little further up the street there is another horse you could technically steal. You won't get a wanted level for it, but honestly it's better to use your own horse. You'll need to be pushing at full speed to catch up with the wagon, and your own horse is almost certainly in better shape with more stamina than whatever random nag is standing around. With that being said, if your horse isn't bonded up to level 4 or you end up grabbing a stranger's horse, you might find yourself running low on stamina during the chase. If that happens, don't be shy about using a horse stimulant to give it a boost. And don't forget, tapping the calm button regularly while you're riding also gives a small stamina recovery boost to the horse. Once you've caught up with the carriage, you'll need to pull alongside it. As soon as you're close enough, you'll see a button prompt pop up that lets you jump across. Make sure you're watching for that prompt. If you fall behind even for a second, you can miss the window and lose precious time. Keep tight to the wagon, hit the button as soon as it appears, and Arthur will leap over and take control. Once aboard, move Arthur to the front and he should automatically throw the drivers off the wagon. All that's left now is to drive the carriage to the secluded spot on your minimap. Once you're in control, just focus on steering cleanly and keep your speed up so you hit that 1 minute and 45 second target. You'll notice in my run it looks like I go over the timer slightly, but I still get the objective done. Like I said earlier, Rockstar's timers can be a bit mysterious at times, so don't panic if it's close. One small tip here, remember to whistle for your horse as you're driving. When the cutscene that follows plays out, your horse will then be waiting for you at the end. If you forget to whistle, your horse won't be there and Arthur will have to make do with one of the tired carriage horses instead for the ride back to Mary. Once you reach the secluded spot, the timer ends. After a short exchange, Arthur will have the brooch and it's time to head back into Saint Denis. You'll just need to get on your horse, or if you forgot to whistle it, cut free one of the carriage horses. As soon as you mount a horse, another cutscene will kick in, which you can skip if you wish. There's one last choice that matters for the gold medal. Mary will ask Arthur to take her to the theatre. If you agree, you'll complete the second and final gold medal objective. If you refuse, you'll fail that requirement. The theatre sequence isn't a cutscene, you'll actually have to walk in with Mary and sit down. During the performance, you'll also get the chance to make a move on her if you really want to. After that, it's up to you. You can stay and watch the rest of the show, or you can leave early. Leaving early won't affect your medal, so do whatever you prefer. Once that's done, the mission wraps up and that's your gold medal sorted. And that's it, gold medal complete for Fatherhood and Other Dreams too. If you found this guide useful, don't forget to hit that like button, drop me a comment and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other guides I've got coming up. I've already covered a bunch of other gold medal missions and hunting guides. You'll find all those linked down in the description if you want to check them out next. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back everyone. Today we're tackling the mission American Fathers 2 for that shiny gold medal. Here's what we need to tick off the list. 1. Infiltrate Cornwall, Kerrizone and Tar via the wagon. 2. Reach Danbury's office undetected. 3. Kill all the horseback pursuers during the escape. And finally, finish with at least 80% accuracy. Now the good news is there is no health requirement for this one. That means we can use as many health items as we like to keep our cores in tip-top condition. And since restarting from a checkpoint usually counts as a health penalty in missions that have that requirement, we don't have to worry here. If we fail an objective, we can restart without losing the gold medal attempt. With that in mind, let's hop in that wagon and get started. Our first objective is to infiltrate the factory by hiding in the back of a supply wagon. Approach quietly from behind and follow it until it stops to let the train pass. Then climb in and stay low for an easy, undetected entry. Once the wagon stops inside the grounds of the factory, hop out and begin making your way towards Danbury's office. This section is reasonably straightforward if you take your time. The guards and workers here seem to have an almost magical ability to be facing the wrong way or wandering off just when you need them to. Stick close and follow my lead as I slowly weave through the factory. We'll take it nice and steady, hugging cover and moving only when it's safe. Always wait for any patrolling guards to turn away before crossing open ground, and don't be afraid to pause behind a stack of crates or barrels if you're unsure. When you reach the big open door here, wait for the first NPC to move away before proceeding. Once he's turned his back, you're safe to move forward. Head straight ahead towards the stairs at the back of the room. Don't worry about the worker on your right who's bending down fixing something. He won't notice you as long as you stay low and keep moving. Once you reach the stairs, you're almost at the office. From here, double back on yourself and head for the lighted doorway ahead. Keep low and you shouldn't encounter any more factory guards along the way. Once inside the office, a short cutscene will play out, after which you'll need to threaten Danbury. Once you have the file, you'll see a prompt to escape out of the window. Whilst this sequence plays out, let's go over a couple of important points. We need to maintain at least 80% accuracy for the entire mission. There are 2 ways to approach this. 1, you could aim for headshots on every guard you encounter while making your way to Eagle Flies. Or 2, make a complete run for it without firing a shot until you reach Eagle Flies and trigger the escape sequence. If you're not confident using Deadeye to secure headshots, the second option is likely the safer choice. Remember, for accuracy to count, your crosshair needs to be red when you fire. That registers as a hit, not a miss. One last thing, there is a known bug in this mission where one of the guards you're scripted to kill during the escape can get stuck behind an object and fail to follow you. If this happens, restart from the last checkpoint and try the run straight to Eagle Flies method. This often bypasses the issue entirely. Once you've got the file, head for the open window and make your escape. In my run, I deal with the guards who get directly in my path using Deadeye to land clean headshots, and then keep moving forward towards Eagle Flies. I don't waste time hunting every single guard down, just the ones who block my route. If you want to avoid that bug I mentioned earlier where the guard gets stuck behind cover and stalls the mission, you can skip combat completely. Simply sprint straight to Eagle Flies, trigger the horseback escape and you'll bypass the issue entirely. If you do encounter the bug mid-run, restart from the last checkpoint and try the full sprint method. It usually fixes the problem. I'll admit it, I love combat in this game, so I end up taking out more guards than I really need to on my way to Eagle Flies. You don't have to do this, just keep heading for the yellow X on your minimap, which is where Eagle Flies will be waiting for you. Once you do reach him, mount your horse to trigger the escape sequence. And remember, there's no health item restriction for this mission, so you can use any miracle tonics or big game meat to keep your cores topped up before the next part. Once you reach Eagle Flies, mount your horse and follow him out of the factory to trigger the escape sequence. There should be 3 guards that chase after you. As you ride out, you can hang back a little bit until Eagle Fly shouts, "They're coming after us." That's your cue to turn around and look for your pursuers. They'll all be on horseback, so make sure you take out all 3 before Eagle Flies has a chance to do it for you. This keeps the gold medal objective safely in your hands. If you run into the bug I mentioned earlier, you'll know because only 2 guards will chase you instead of 3. If that happens, you'll need to restart from the last checkpoint and try again. And that is how we get the gold on American Fathers 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this guide helpful, please do hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. If you've got any other tips or tricks or useful information for this mission, I'd love to hear from you, so drop it in the comments section below. And remember, if you want to brush up on your Deadeye skills, I've linked a couple of guides in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 gold medal guide. This time we're diving into the mission Country Pursuits. The gold medal objectives for this one are return jewels to the skiff within 1 minute and 40 seconds and 2, shoot the bull gator 5 times. I've labelled this mission as medium difficulty mainly because the first objective can be a bit tricky to hit your first attempt. The good news is there's no health requirement here, so if you feel like you've blown the timer, you can actually abandon the mission after checking objective 1 and save yourself a bit of time. The frustrating part, before we even get to the action, there's a long cutscene and a slow ride with Dutch lecturing Arthur all the way to Le Gras, just so you can meet the man with the boat and wade through the swamps looking for jewels. So if you do fail, you'll be stuck repeating it all over again. So let me save you the pain and fast forward that bit here to the point we're about to trigger the first objective. Before we start our attempt to rescue Jules, here's a bit of advice. As you can see, I've topped up Arthur's health cores and reinforced them with a miracle tonic. Now there's no health objective for this mission, so feel free to use as many tonics or snacks as you like without worrying about penalties. The only core you really need to worry about is your stamina core. That's going to be your lifeline when you're wading through the swamp to find Jules and then carrying him over your shoulder back to the boat. I like to pop a stamina tonic just before I reach him to make sure that the bar doesn't drain too fast. Bitter or gum will do the trick nicely. Potent or special bitters will last longer. I'm going to be showing you the rescue of Jules from start to finish so you can see exactly how I did it. There will also be a timer on screen when I think it begins. First off, when you start chasing after him, just head straight in his direction. Keep an eye on your stamina. If that outer bar starts draining, top it up with a tonic while you're running. When you finally reach Jules, he'll slip under and disappear again. Don't panic, the easiest thing to do is just keep running straight ahead until your minimap gives you a new marker for where he is. Or you can see him pop out of the water. Once you start sprinting towards him again, that's the perfect time to take another stamina tonic. That way, when you lift him over your shoulder, you won't risk running out of your energy on the slog back to the boat. Once you've got Jules over your shoulder, don't hang around waiting for the game to tell you what to do. Immediately spin around, find the direction of the boat and start running flat out. This is the point where stamina gets really tested. If you don't have at least 8 bars built up naturally over the course of the game, you're going to feel Arthur slow down. That's why I recommend popping a stamina tonic before you pick him up. It keeps you moving at full speed and makes the run back to the boat much less stressful. You won't be able to take any health or stamina tonics once Jules is over your shoulder, so preparation really pays off here. As you can see, my Arthur has fully upgraded stamina bars, and I've already boosted them with a yellow stamina core and a miracle tonic. That way he never tires out, and we can keep running at full speed all the way back to the boat. But don't worry if you haven't got Arthur's stamina fully upgraded yet, this is still very possible. As long as you prepare early and top up with the right tonics before picking Jules up, you'll be fine. So let's fast forward a little bit now and get our last gold medal objective, putting 5 bullets into the bull gator. This part's really easy. As long as your crosshair is red when you fire, you won't miss. Just plough 5 bullets into the bull gator and you're done. As you can see, I must have put enough lead in him to drop half the swamp, but of course the game won't let you kill him. He's saving his big legendary debut for Chapter 6, where you can go hunting him properly. After that, you just need to perform a bit of DIY first aid on poor Jules. Then you'll actually get one last chance to plant a few more bullets into the bull gator. So here's your opportunity to make sure you've landed all 5 hits. Using Deadeye can help confirm that your crosshair is red before you fire. Thank you so much for watching this gold medal guide. I hope you found it useful. If you've got any comments or extra tips, feel free to drop them in the comments box below. It might help other players out too. In the description, you'll also find links to my other gold medal guides, as well as helpful guides covering all aspects of RDR2. I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to another one of my gold medal guides for Red Dead Redemption 2. Today we're taking on Revenge is a Dish Best Eaten, one of the most exciting missions in Chapter 4. To get gold here, you'll need to do the following. 1. Search every room in Bronte's mansion. 2. Carry Bronte to the skiff within 1 minute and 30 seconds. 3. Get 20 headshots. And 4. Complete the mission without taking any health items. I've labelled this one as medium difficulty. By now most players are pretty comfortable using Deadeye, but if you need a refresher, I've linked my Deadeye guides down in the description. Keep in mind, anytime there's a no health items objective, that also means you cannot restart checkpoints or die, since both will count as using a health item. And of course, no eating or drinking tonics, food or anything that affects your health. With that all being said, let's join the gang as we step off the skiff outside the gates of Bronte's mansion. The first thing you want to focus on as you arrive at Bronte's mansion is racking up as many headshots as you can before you even step inside. Follow John and take cover opposite him, then line up the first shot to kick things off.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Find some cover. 2 up ahead.
Once you do fire, everything kicks into chaos, so move up towards the front of the mansion quickly. The closer you are, the better positioned you'll be to pick enemies off cleanly and build towards that 20 headshot target. Now, an important note about Deadeye, you'll need it later during the escape, so don't blow through it all here. Keep an eye on that outer bar. That's what snake oil and chewing tobacco will restore. Use these if you need to top up, but don't let your inner Deadeye core drop into the red zone. If it does, aiming gets noticeably harder, and that's the last thing you want when trying to chain headshots. You'll also notice that I'm using Deadeye in short bursts rather than sitting in it and scanning around for the next target. A quick tap of the R3 button, or right stick as a button, will cancel Deadeye instantly, letting you dip in and out whenever you need to. This approach is far more efficient. It saves you from wasting precious Deadeye and prevents the bar from draining too quickly. Think of it like taking quick snapshots rather than holding down the shutter. You'll stay accurate and you'll still have plenty left in the tank for the escape sequence later on. The enemies up on the veranda can be a little trickier to deal with when going for headshots. What you'll see me trying to do here is being patient and waiting for them to step closer to the railings before lining up a clean shot. You can also manually tag their heads through the gaps in the railings using Deadeye. It's a neat little trick that makes them much easier to hit without having to wait too long. Once all the enemies outside are down, it's time to push into the mansion. Dutch will toss you a double-barreled shotgun to blast your way through the doors. That's fun and all, but if you're still chasing headshots, the shotgun isn't really your best friend here. As soon as you're inside, swap back to your repeater or change to a revolver or pistol, something that lets you keep manually tagging heads with Deadeye. That way you can still stay on track for those 20 headshot requirements while clearing the remaining enemies inside the mansion. That being said, it is still possible to land headshots with the double-barreled shotgun if you're confident with manually tagging them in Deadeye. And let's be honest, Arthur does look a whole lot cooler storming through Bronte's mansion with a shotgun in hand. As you go through the mansion, just keep an eye on your minimap for where the enemies will spawn. Once you've cleared the ground floor of enemies, Dutch will order you to start searching the rooms for Bronte. Take your time here, eventually you'll be told to head upstairs, but until then you're free to rummage around. In a regular playthrough, there's no need to rush. The enemy waiting halfway up the stairs will patiently hold position for you. This gives you the chance to explore the ground floor properly, where you find an interesting note between Bronte and the police chief. It fills in a few story gaps and confirms that Bronte was very much in charge and had set the gang up at the trolley station. Once you've finished the ground floor, head upstairs where you'll get a dramatic scripted moment. Arthur blasts the guard on the stairs and sends him flying straight out of the window. Now, one of our gold medal objectives is to search every room upstairs in the mansion. To make sure this counts, we need to leave the room Bronte is hiding in until last. There's also a couple more enemies upstairs, so this is another good chance to add to your headshot total. Follow my lead and search the rooms in this order. Firstly, go left at the top of the stairs, then go to the far right room where you'll find another enemy. In the second room you search, you can also search the wardrobe as well for some cheeky loot. The last room we will enter will be the room directly at the top of the stairs, which is in the middle of the two rooms. As soon as you enter the final room, there'll be one last enemy waiting for you, so be ready and try to bag another headshot before the cutscene kicks in. After that, John will tell you to pick up Angelo Bronte. There are 3 quick notes here. 1, regular playthroughs only. Don't forget to grab the Mauser pistol Bronte throws down. It's a freebie, and if you don't want to use it now, just swap back to your original sidearm. Your Mauser will be waiting for you on the horse later. 2, loot Angelo Bronte. He's carrying a good chunk of cash, so you don't want to leave that behind. But most importantly, top up your Deadeye before you pick him up. Use snake oil or chewing tobacco to fortify it, because once you're carrying Bronte, you won't be able to use any items until the escape is over. Once you've looted Bronte, taken his pistol and fortified your Deadeye, it's time to hoist him over your shoulder. This will trigger the timed escape sequence, and from here on out, every second really does count. As soon as you regain control, spin around and get moving down the stairs. You'll notice enemies still scattered through the mansion, but don't be tempted to hang back or go looking for more headshots. The goal now is pure survival and speed. Keep a pistol or revolver equipped so you can snap off quick shots at anyone blocking your way. On the ground floor, sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 enemies trying to cut you off as you pass through the main hall. Take them out quickly if your gang doesn't do it. 1 bullet each is all you need. Then immediately push through the front doors. Try not to zigzag or stall, just head straight for the exit. Once you're outside, the timer pressure really kicks in. More enemies will be firing from the gardens and up on the balconies, but remember, you don't need to stop for them. Keep Bronte on your shoulder and just shoot the ones directly in your path. If they're off to the side or shooting from a distance, ignore them. Your gang members will often cover those angles for you. At this point, you might feel the pressure, but you'll usually have around 30 seconds to spare if you've kept up a steady pace. Don't slow down though, Arthur isn't exactly sprinting with Bronte on his back, so every moment counts. And that is how to get gold on Revenge is a Dish Best Eaten. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this guide helped you out. If you want more tips, make sure to check the description below, where I've linked my other Red Dead Redemption 2 gold medal guides, along with playlists covering challenges, hunting and plenty more. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe and share any extra tips or tricks you've discovered in the comments. It might help someone else out. See you in the next one. Welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 gold medal guide. This time we're looking at banking the old American art, which is the final mission of Chapter 4. Before we dive in, fair warning, this mission contains some major spoilers. If you haven't completed it yet and you want to avoid them, I recommend coming back to this guide after you've played through the mission and moved into Chapter 5. The objectives for the gold are 1. Crack the safe without making any mistakes. 2. Complete the mission using only sidearms. 3. Get 25 headshots. And 4. Complete the mission without taking any health items. As always, when there's a health related objective, the usual rules apply. You can't eat or drink anything that affects your health, and remember that dying or resetting a checkpoint will also count as taking a health item. I'd rate this mission as medium difficulty as long as you're comfortable using Deadeye and manually tagging targets. If you're not, don't worry, I've left links in the description to my Deadeye guides as a refresher. For this run I am playing it on a regular playthrough, but if you're tackling this on a replay, the game is a little more generous with items it hands out here compared to most other replay missions. This mission begins back at Shady Belle, where Jose and Dutch run through the plan to rob the bank in Saint Denis. For now, there's nothing special to worry about. You'll just need to go through the motions and follow along with what the game tells you to do. Since it's mostly cutscenes and riding, let's fast forward ahead to just before the gang walks into the bank and the action really begins. Alright, it's objective time. We need to crack those safes. Quick note, pointing your gun in the air and firing is purely optional roleplay. It looks dramatic, but it doesn't change the objective. If you want to feel like a proper bank robber, go for it. You'll also see a man unlock the back room where the safes are. Arthur needs to give him a couple of good knocks to hurry him along. A couple of hits is usually enough to speed him along and get the job moving. Don't go overboard, just 2 or 3 solid bashes does the trick. Now for the safes themselves. The combination you need is 19, 72, 54. This is the part that will fail your gold if you make a mistake. So even if the gang is shouting and trying to rush you, take your time and don't overshoot the numbers. So for the first one, turn the dial left counterclockwise to 19. Do it really slowly. You'll get subtle feedback, a controller rumble or a slight click sound when the number registers. And stop dead on the number, don't spin past it and try and come back because overshooting counts as a mistake. The next number is 72, so turn the dial right or clockwise across 0 and stop precisely on 72. Remember that slower is better. You will also notice that because I didn't know the numbers at the time I was doing this, I was listening out for Bill to call them out to me.
Should be one more number.
Finally, the last number will be 54, so you will need to turn the dial left or counterclockwise again to hit 54. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I did make a mistake on an overshoot on one of these numbers, but the game was pretty forgiving and gave it to me anyway. The next part of the mission is another long cutscene which I won't include here. Once it's over, the real challenge begins. From this point on, we need to start stacking those headshots. Remember, you'll need 25 in total for the gold medal. The first wave inside the bank is the perfect chance to get the majority of them. Keep your sidearm equipped at all times and don't use a repeater or rifle. Lean on Deadeye to make your shots clean and efficient. Every enemy is an opportunity to push your headshot count closer to that 25 target. Let's fast forward to the end of the cutscene now and jump straight into the action where the gang are retaliating after the loss of one of their beloved members. The best advice I can give you at this point is simple. Stay exactly where you are right at this window. Don't move. After the cutscene, Pinkertons will be spawning outside, giving you an endless supply of enemies to farm those headshots. This is where you want to rack up the bulk of your 25. Keep your sidearm out, use Deadeye wisely, and just keep popping heads. Even when Dutch starts yelling at you to come over to him, you don't actually need to move. Ignore him and keep shooting. And remember my advice from previous guides, when your outer Deadeye bar begins to drain, top it up with snake oil or chewing tobacco to fortify it. Don't let your inner core turn red because that means aiming is much harder and you're going to need a strong Deadeye reserve for the rooftop fight that comes next. You can actually stay in this position for as long as you want. Dutch will keep moaning at you to come over, but unlike other points in the game, the timer isn't strict here. The game won't force you to move, so take advantage of it. Keep farming those Pinkertons, keep stacking those headshots, and only move on when you feel ready. I'll let this sequence play out here so you can see just how long I held the position for, and how many headshots I was able to squeeze in before heading over to Dutch. Eventually, I got bored of listening to Dutch yelling at Arthur, so I finally relented and went over to him. This time, we're helping Dutch blow open the wall to create another escape route. Just follow the game's directions here, place the dynamite, step back and shoot it. Once the wall is blown, the gang will push forward, and before long, you'll find yourself heading up onto the roof. Once you're on the roof, there are plenty more opportunities to pick off those final headshots. Now, a quick reminder, if you didn't already bring a repeater or rifle with you, Javier will throw Arthur one just before you climb the ladder. But don't be tempted to use it, the gold medal objective is sidearms only, so stick with those. My personal favourite here is the Lamat revolver, which actually unlocks during Chapter 4 after the Gilded Cage mission, so you should already have access to it by now. But honestly, any sidearm will do the job. Just make sure you've upgraded their barrel length if possible to increase their range. Make sure you try to stay in cover whilst on the rooftop, and watch out for the Gatling gun to arrive and take it out as soon as you can.
What's going on down there?
We lost control of the bed. The others are trying to hold him off.
Okay. Oh, shit! Gatling gun!
Once the Gatling gun appears, focus on taking out the enemy operating it. As soon as you get him down, it'll trigger the last of the remaining waves of enemies before another cutscene plays out. From there, you'll need to follow Lenny and the gang as they push across the rooftops to safety. Now, we all know what's coming next, and I won't repeat the agony for you here. The good news is that by this point, the majority of your gold medal objectives should already be secured. From here on, it's mostly about completing the mission cleanly by following the game's instructions. The trickiest part left is sneaking onto the train and then onto the boat. Since the rest of this section is fairly straightforward, I'll fast forward to those final moments to walk you through them, just in case you're struggling with that sequence too. When it comes to boarding the train, just stick close to Dutch and follow his lead. The game will give you prompts on when to move and when to hide, so don't try and rush it, you'll only get spotted. Every time Dutch ducks into cover, make sure Arthur does the same. Think of it less of a stealth challenge and more as a follow the leader moment. As long as you copy his movements and stay patient, you'll slip through the train and off it without any trouble.
Oh, damn it. We're never gonna get past these fellas. Arthur.
Eventually, once you're off the train, Dutch will ask you to create distraction to deal with some guards blocking the way to the boat. All you need to do is head over to the yellow area marked on your map. Once you're there, whistle, just like you would if you're calling your horse. This will draw the guards over towards your position. As soon as you have whistled, make sure you've tucked into cover and hidden. When the guards are distracted and it's safe, slowly make your way back over to the gang so you can regroup and continue towards the boat. From here, just continue to follow Dutch and watch as Charles creates a distraction, giving the rest of the gang a chance to slip away on the boat. This sequence plays out automatically and will finally trigger the last cutscene of the mission, bringing banking the old American art to a close. This mission automatically triggers the start of Chapter 5, and because I did this on a regular playthrough, the only way to confirm I completed it correctly was by checking in the chapter progress menu, which you can see on screen now. Thank you so much for watching this gold medal guide. I hope you found it helpful. If you've got any extra tips or strategies that might help others, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more of my RDR2 gold medal guides and other content. I'll see you in the next one when we move on to Chapter 5.